All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Autonomy Podcast. And today I have a special guest, Bhavini. How are you, Bhavini?
Good. How are you, Jody?
I'm doing well, thank you. It's really great to have you on one of these episodes, and I'm really excited to have a conversation with you today. Thank you for doing this.
Yeah, not a problem.
So, yeah, let's jump into it. Let's get started and see how your journey has been with us so far. So, you haven't completed 3 months yet,
Yeah,
two and a
not
half
yet.
months, but your progress is absolutely massive. Around 18 pounds lost so far, and you've been really diligent and hardworking. And I'm really proud of you being your coach personally to have you on one of these episodes. How are you feeling so far?
I feel great until I saw the entire progression chart of where I started. Like I knew my starting weight and I weigh myself every day. But then seeing the actual chart go down and yes, a little squiggles up and down here and there. But actually seeing the progress and knowing hasn't even been 3 months yet and we're already so close to what I had set out as my initial goal. I'm like, okay, so this is what I needed all along. So it's been good.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's really amazing to hear. And it all comes down to that hard work and dedication that you have set yourself to put up, because a plan is a plan. Like you can give a plan to anyone, but if somebody has the dedication to follow, that's what really matters. Tell me, Bhavini, what helped you follow the plan or be religious about being consistent so far?
Consistency has always been my biggest struggle anytime we've tried to on our own start some kind of fitness journey. The last real success I've had is when we had a personal trainer, and that was just for the physical aspect. And it was the consistency of going once a week, having that personal trainer telling us what to do. So having that consistency and that oh gosh, gotta tell Jody, gotta send my check-in. The overachiever in me made me want to no, I gotta do it. I gotta make sure I do it. It was just being able to be consistent and seeing it and seeing the progress. And even though it took me, I think over the weekend, this past weekend, I was looking at old pictures because it was Valentine's Day. I was like, oh, let me post some cute coupley photo on Instagram for my husband and I. And I was looking back, we hadn't taken pictures in a really long time. And the most recent one I found was from, I think maybe 6 months ago. And I sent it to him. I was like, this isn't us. We are not these people anymore. Seeing that difference was an extra motivation too, just having that consistency and the guidance to do it.
Yeah. Wow, that's amazing. And I can tell you from the images of the food that you send me on a daily basis, I can see how beautiful they are, how structured they are. I wish I could eat them. They're really nice and neat and prepared. You're putting that effort into presentation and I'm going to do this perfectly.
We've gotten to the point where even before we started this, we love food. We love trying new recipes and stuff. So we've continued to do that. Our friends know that we're on this journey. They haven't seen us since we started, I think, either. But since we're already taking pictures of our food, we'll sometimes send them our pictures too. And they'll be like, oh my gosh, that looks so good. And we're like, yes, and it's in our calories and we can eat it.
That's amazing to hear. Let me ask you, Bhavini, as well. You mentioned consistency, that you have struggled with consistency. What other things you felt you struggled with before joining Autonomy? Or was it mainly consistency?
It was the consistency and the diet. So my in-laws live with us part-time, and then the part-time they live in India, and part-time they live with my brother and sister-in-law. So not being able to control what we eat when they are staying with us, because obviously we want them to eat whatever they want, which is usually going to be the traditional food. Not knowing how to navigate that and be no. I always would eat in a smaller plate, very much like the one plate rule that I learned about thanks to you. Would eat in a smaller plate, but it was always, we always have rice, we have the rotli, we have the veggies, which is good, but then how much are we eating? What's the right portion? And just not knowing the proper nutrition and the proper portion sizes was definitely a big factor. Not knowing how to gently tell my in-laws, no, this is what we're going to do. This is all I need. Well, they are not here with us right now, so they'll be back staying with us after we get through our first 6 months. So we'll hopefully be in the maintenance phase. So that'll be the true test when we get to them too. But not knowing how to eat those traditional foods, not feeling guilty about it either, because they're not unhealthy. It's just, how do you portion your rice? What's a good rice portion?
That's absolutely important, because for us, our tradition requires us to be around family, eating with family, and it's very important. And we all understand when you go to your in-laws or to your parents, how they want to force feed you. And it's oh, I can't eat. It's hard to navigate that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That is the biggest struggle, which again, luckily we haven't had to deal with it right now because we're not visiting people. We're kind of just in our own bubble doing our thing. But yeah, just not knowing how to translate proper diet into a traditional Indian diet and then being able to say, no, no, I'm good. Okay. Not hungry anymore. Please don't put more on my plate.
Yeah, it's a challenge that we want to learn to say no sometimes, and it's tough. At the end, we look at our goals and we were very close to achieve them, and we feel like, you know what, I really need to do this. Tell me, Bhavini, as well, coming into this journey, what did you want to get as an outcome of this journey?
Not just like, obviously, I wanted to lose weight. That was
Mm,
a big thing, but not just lose the weight, but be healthier overall and have the knowledge to do it on my own. I'm 34. I turned 34 right after we had started. And one of the big things was we want a family, and I want to be able to be the healthiest version of myself to be in a position to grow a baby and like be in that position to also carry over, like, okay, have the baby. We know simple things about nutrition and
mhm.
getting into a routine that can still happen and not lose sight of just fall back into the routine of
Yeah.
convenience and like, we'll just eat whatever. No, our dinners don't take that long to make. The swap sheets have been really helpful, mix and match based on whatever we have. Wanted to be able to have those skills in my own knowledge tree to be able to carry that on in the future.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's really great to hear. And how do you feel your mindset changed or shifted over the past couple months versus, say, before starting and right now? Like, how do you feel your mindset is?
I feel a lot more confident in myself and my clothes, and everything feels better. And then I also feel like, okay, I can indulge in a chocolate and not feel guilty about it because I've worked on XYZ, or I had healthy this and I skipped a snack, didn't have a snack, so I can have dessert, and not feeling guilty about like a little treating myself. So that's been really helpful because every time before it was, okay, no, let's start eating healthier. And then, oh, well, we're eating healthier, but now we can't have the little dessert we want. Now, it's, okay, we're eating healthier, but we can still have dessert and not feel guilty. So not feeling that guilt about any of that has been really helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. And we all have that perception whenever we are on a diet that it's going to be very restrictive and you can't eat this and you can't eat that. So we did not have that, like, because you can explore, you can mix and match, like you said, based on how you're feeling to eat that day. As long as we stick within the limits that we have set for ourselves, we should be good to go, right?
Yeah, we love bread in this house, and we found bread that the two slices that we've been making our sandwiches on are 100 calories, and we can still have bread.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me ask you, Bevin, and you touched base as well on it of wanting to start a family, wanting to be able to carry babies and be healthy. Was that the major why to start or embark on this journey?
Kind of. It was wanting to be able to be the best version of myself to do that, and also just feel better about myself because I was the heaviest I had ever been. I wasn't feeling good about myself and how I was looking, how I was feeling. I felt sluggish. So I wanted to feel better, and it was kind of a combo deal. My birthday was coming up. I was, you know what? I keep putting this off. I had found Nathan on TikTok and then started following him on Instagram. And I was like, I keep putting this off. And if I keep putting it off, we're just never going to do it. And then there's never going to be a perfect time to do it. So I should just do it. Just do it now, right before my birthday, knowing that we would have wanted to celebrate my birthday in some way, which we still were able to do and not feel guilty about it, even very early on in the process. So
True.
just being able to like, you know what? No, let's not put it off. Let's just do it. And it's time. The sooner we do it, the better. The better we'll feel, the better I'll feel, the more ready I'll feel, both physically, mentally, emotionally, all the things.
And it certainly adds that extra layer of motivation when you're doing it with your partner as well. And you're among a few clients who is doing this program with their partner. So how did you sync with Roshan so that you guys can have that mindset? You know what? Let's do this together. Let's do it right now.
I had subtly, and probably not so subtly, been sending him some of Nathan's videos here and there, like on Instagram, TikTok. I was like, look, we eat traditional food 3 to 6 months out of the year sometimes, and we don't know how to navigate that. Look at this. And then it was, well, I think we should do it. Well, let's get on the call. Let's get all the information we need. And it was a mutual decision. Even if he had been like, you know what, I don't want to do it, I probably still would have done it. But the fact that we're doing it together, it's definitely helped because we don't have to make two separate dinners. He also loves food. So we're trying to find things that fit within our like diet and fit within our calories, trying different like snacks that are healthier. He's the one that found that bread that we love. So we've been able to do it together, and it's helped with us keeping our recipes interesting so that we try new things. We don't get bored of eating the same thing. And it's just definitely helped having him do this with me, or us do this together, because we're both doing it.
That's absolutely fantastic. And did you feel like also having him with you on the journey also helped you accelerate fat loss or accelerate getting to your target faster?
I think so, because he's a little more competitive than I am, but we're both very competitive. So it was like kind of a game, but not really, because it was like, okay, no, we got to work out. We have to do it. Even on the days when we were doing workouts after work, I was like, okay, I'll start working out when I'm done with work. And then by the time you get here, I'll be close to being done. And then I can tell you how I did, and you can have motivation to do what you need to do. So it's kind of a game, kind of not. And then again, with the food, it's just being able to do that together and try the recipes together, and definitely just helps.
And it certainly helps. You guys also have the same step target. Sometimes, like you told me on one of these calls, like you did the steps and you told like, hey, I did my steps. Now it's your turn. So it's kind of like you guys are pushing each other, right?
Yeah, it's a lot easier with especially the steps on the weekends, because it's cold this week. It's been so cold. I haven't gone outside to get my steps in, but since we have the walking pad at home, I'll get my steps in while I'm working, usually towards the end of the day when I have no more work calls. I'll just put the walking pad under my desk and I'll get my steps in. And then on the weekend, I'm like, well, you're just watching TV. We'll just move the walking pad closer to the TV. You just, you get your steps in. I'll walk around the house. That's not a problem.
Yeah, that's awesome. You're my extra set of eyes, like, keeping everyone on track, right?
Do my best.
Perfect. You certainly are. It's showing on both of you guys' journey. It's amazing so far. The achievement is absolutely fantastic so far. Let me ask you this, Bhavini, and we will get into like the strategies and how this program has been working for you so far. How do you feel right now versus before you started as a person, energy levels, everything?
So energy levels, I have a lot more energy. Other than a few days here and there, I don't wake up feeling tired. I don't feel sluggish throughout the day. I feel like I have a lot more energy. I used to feel like I had to drink like my coffee or my energy drink to get through the day. Now there have been days where I'm like, I don't need a whole like cup of iced coffee. I'll just have like half. There have been some days that I don't need coffee at all, and I'm like, I feel fine. So my energy levels have definitely been up. I started running again, trying to at least get one run a week, and we've seen the progress in that, which has been great too. And then just mentally, I feel better. I feel like I have more clarity. I feel like I have more motivation to do things, not just like our nutrition and exercising, but just things that I enjoy doing. I enjoy reading, and before I was like, well, I don't want to. Now I'm like, no, let's wind down for the day. Let's just read before bed. Let's do the things that would bring me joy too. I feel like my whole mindset has shifted a little because I feel more comfortable. I feel more confident, just overall better mindset and better headspace.
Yeah. And you're certainly debunking that myth of like people saying like, oh, when you get on a diet, like you're going to lose energy because you're not eating that much and you're not going to have the energy to do anything and you can't work out and you can't get stronger. But I can see that's totally not true. And also like I track your workouts as well. I can see how you're getting stronger, how you're getting better. Your runs, you're getting faster, you're getting the same time, but less time with the same running distance. So that's absolutely fantastic.
It's been really good to be able to also see that progress because yes, we have the home gym. We were working out here and there before, but then like seeing the actual change in the graphs and like all of the tools that we have at our disposal just to be able to like, oh, yeah, you're right. I can lift heavier now and not feel as tired about it and like still feel like, okay, I could do more, but then I'll be super tired. So let's not overdo it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, Bhavini. That's awesome to hear. So let me ask you this also, as we discussed different strategies, some of them work, some of them don't work. It's kind of like finding that fine tuning that works for your lifestyle because everyone is different. Everyone has their own lifestyle. So what did you feel like the most important strategies that you have taken from me that really helped you stay on track and be consistent?
I think the biggest one was the one plate rule because yes, we can, when we're preparing things at home, easy to do, easy to track the calories, weigh everything out. But when we're in a hurry or when we're eating food that's not our own, having that one plate rule as a guide has been so helpful. And even this weekend, we're not going to be home, have much less control. I don't feel like we're going to regress. I feel like I'm prepared. I already was working on packing up our protein bars to have this snack, but knowing that, okay, buffet, not a problem. Follow the one plate rule. And it's not as daunting of a task to know that, okay, we can still go out and eat. We can still have like go somewhere where there's a buffet. Having that base knowledge that you gave us from day one has been so big, because we shift back to that when we're like, oh, what do we eat? Well, like, let's just, what do we have in the fridge that we can put together real quick? Carb, a protein, and then salad, and just makes it so much easier.
Yeah, that's certainly, yeah, glad that it's working for you. And it certainly helps to be prepared when you have like a strategy or a plan. And then when you go out to these social events or these events that with food is around, where you feel like I'm confident, this is not intimidating. I know what to do, right? All right. Let me ask you also this question, Bhavini. So what do you feel like 3 strategies or some of the knowledge or strategies that you have learned so far with autonomy that you did not know about before joining?
So the first one is the one plate rule. Also learning how actually easy it is to weigh out food and weigh out the ingredients when cooking. It takes a little more time, but then knowing, okay, this much of this protein is a serving. Not knowing really before, like, okay, it's actually not that hard to weigh out our portion sizes. So having that knowledge of the one plate rule, the actual portion sizes we should be aiming for. And then as far as the workouts go, because that was another big one, I was always so confused as to, like, when we had a personal trainer, we knew what we were doing because he would tell us what to do. So having that again, okay, your workout options, pick one, go do it. Okay, I can do that. There's videos that can tell me whether I'm doing something right or wrong. There's that feedback. It tracks what I did before. So it's not like, oh, what weight did I use for that again? Oh, what was, because I'm not going to remember. I was like, oh, I probably have to write it down. And then no, I saw the app. I was like, oh, I click that toggle. It'll fill in what I had before. So then I know going in, like, okay, that's what I did before. Can I try more? How do I feel? So that's also been really helpful with the workouts. Just having the app there. Here's your guide. Here's your instructions. Let me know if you have questions. And if you don't, just make sure to put it in. And it's so helpful to have those videos.
And did you feel also that helped you gain more confidence around exercise, that you can actually learn them and do them without a personal trainer on top of your head? That makes sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Because it's still, obviously, it's not the same as having someone physically there watching over me, telling me what to do. But being able to see a video, okay, let me try that. Does that look right? Does that feel right? Hold on, let me go back. What muscle groups should I be feeling this? Okay, did I feel it there? Yes. Okay, let's go. So the first few, like on the newer exercises, I think I mentioned to you too. I don't know if I'm doing this right, but then the more I tried it, the more I was like, okay, I am doing this right. It just feels weird because I've never done it before. So definitely helpful there.
Exactly. And yeah, the more we do them, like, the more you gain confidence around a certain motion, around a certain technique. And with everything, like we really do, like, whether it's dieting, sometimes we just come into something and we're kind of like intimidated. It's like, oh, I don't know if I can do that. But when you actually do it, it's not as intimidating as we had our mindset.
Yeah, it's definitely not as intimidating as I thought it was going to be at first. The beginning was a little rough. It was like, oh, well, am I hungry, or is my body just getting used to actually eating the correct portion, which was a big thing at the beginning. I think the first few weeks we were like, I'm actually like satisfied. I'm not hungry, and I'm eating less than I was before, but I'm not hungry and I don't feel weak or anything. It was just getting used to eating the proper portions and eating nutritiously to where I wasn't feeling like I was lacking anything.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. And your body get used to what you give it, and you give it less food or you give it like this amount of food or this type of nutrition, it get used to it.
I have noticed that some things, like sweet things, taste a lot sweeter now than before when I was eating them more regularly. Now I'm like, that's so sweet.
Yeah.
So sweet.
Now
And
your
it's not that
body's
I don't,
feeling it.
yeah, and it's not that I don't enjoy it. I still enjoy my sweet, but now it's like I could do without that one. Like maybe that'll be a special occasion thing. It changed, and I'm like not mad about it or sad about it. I don't feel like I'm missing anything with this diet either.
Yeah, exactly. That's absolutely it. Having that actually gives us sustainability because that's going to be more consistent for us. And that's one of the things that you mentioned that helped you remain
Mhm.
consistent as well on this journey. Awesome, Bhavini. Another question, what is next for you, Bhavini? How close are we for you to wake up one day and feel like, you know what, this is it, man?
I thought it would be when we got to the goal weight, which is only like 5 or 6 pounds away. We're only 5 or 6 pounds away from my goal weight. But now I'm like, okay, but did I just set that as a goal because I thought it was the best we could do in a limited time frame? Or can I actually do more and still feel good and not feel like I'm losing anything, not feel like I've lost too much weight? I know for sure, like I think I mentioned to you that at some point this year, I want to be able to run a 5K. We're going to
Yeah.
build up to that. That's going to happen. That's still a goal. But I also want to possibly reevaluate the goal weight before we go into like, okay, let's just go like build muscles and maintain the weight now. Like I think maybe I was a little conservative with the goal weight. I guess we'll see how it looks in 5 pounds from now and like how I'm feeling and like what do we want to do, like reevaluate. But I didn't think we would get to this point as quickly as we did. And it has changed my perspective a bit. I'm like, that's a goal. Like it's going to be a long-term goal. Like it's going to take like 6 months to get there. No, we're 5 pounds away and we're about to start month 3.
Yeah, it's certainly that change in mindset and goal. When we start something, we have a goal of, let me see, maybe 5 pounds, 10 pounds, and I'll see how it goes. But then when you actually do it and you start feeling more confident and more comfortable, you start to be wanting more and you feel like, yeah, I can do more. I can run 5K now. I want to do that. You know what I mean? So it all starts to build up and that's fantastic.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what the reevaluation like. Probably going to be one of those moments like I'm going to sit down with my notebook and be like, okay, what do we want to do? What can we add to this goal instead of like removing anything and just going into maintenance? Like, no, I think we can still like push a little more before like trying to move into any maintenance phase because I still feel like there's more that I could do even when getting to the initial goal weight. I feel like we got there pretty quickly.
Well, I can tell you one thing. I'm really excited to have that conversation coming up. So
I'm sure it won't take too long. I am confident that we will have that conversation sooner rather than later.
yeah, me too. Very confident about that because seeing your progress and how you are approaching things, you're very driven and goal oriented. Like, you want to do it, you just keep going.
Absolutely. Some might say that is a toxic trait when it comes to work environments and things like that and planning, but in other instances, it's working out very well for me.
Absolutely, exactly. And that leads me actually to my last question to you, Bhavini, is that based on what you have been going through over the past less than 3 months, which is still like we consider fairly new, what are 3 tips or advices that you would give somebody who is just joining this journey?
The first tip, stick with it. It's going to be hard, but stick it out. Take your time. Step away if you need to. Like if the kitchen gets overwhelming, because it does sometimes, take a deep breath and then get back into it. Stick with it. It's going to get easier. I think the first, and not to get too off on a tangent, but I think the first few weeks for us, I was like, it takes so much time to weigh everything and figure everything out. And now I'm like, okay, weigh my 120 grams of Greek yogurt, drizzle in my granola, and I now have like the muscle memory of like, I kind of know what it looks like if the scale is there in case I'm like, oh, whoops, put too much. Let me fix that. It gets easier. So stick to it. The second thing, take a break if you need it though, because there will be times I've gotten sick while doing this. I felt bad in the moment, but then I was like, no, well, how am I supposed to, if my body is telling me you need a break, though being able to listen to my body in that way and just not feel guilty about it. Just because you are on this journey, things come up, things happen. Don't let it derail. Absolutely. Don't let the number on the scale derail you if it goes up because it's going to fluctuate. It happens. Don't let it derail you. I don't know if I got 3 things.
Yeah, you
I may
certainly
have.
did. Yeah, that's fantastic. And that's the struggles of everyone who's joining or embarking on a diet or a health journey is that always like intimidated by the scale or intimidated by the process of like, weighing food or reporting to the coach or something like that. These are certainly coming from a point where you have experienced them yourself and and you have learned them. And that's like absolutely great to hear.
Yeah, it's been good. The challenges have helped me grow even more and probably more quickly because I've gotten sick while being on this journey very early on. I've seen the number on the scale go up and felt that like, oh, what did I do? Felt a little disheartened, but then like had a no, this happens. It's going to be fine. We just continue. We just push through. So I feel like since I've dealt with it, you're right. I've dealt with it. I know it's going to be fine. There's light at the end of that tunnel. It's going to keep getting better.
Yeah, you just have to believe and just keep walking, right?
Absolutely.
That's really awesome to hear. And I'm really actually looking forward to getting you on a part 2 episode once we reach our goals. That episode, we're going to talk about how you ran that 5K and how you're looking amazing.
I'll have to make sure to start looking at 5K dates and like we'll work around that. But it's so cold right now. So hopefully the weather will be nicer and I can get back to those runs so I can tell you about that 5K.
Maybe in a couple months, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome, Bhavini. Well, it was great chatting with you and really enjoyed my time. It was really, really fun. And thank you for doing this on a Friday morning.
Thank you for having me. And isn't it like Friday evening for you? So hopefully a nice way to end out your Friday.
Absolutely. Always nice to end up with a positive and nice conversation.
Yes.
Awesome, Bhavini. Thank you very much. And yeah, I shall see you soon.
Thanks, Jody. See you later.